The Unknown Portraits project has been a collaboration of several different organisations, and it has joined together the collection of unknown portraits based at Montacute House with a group of dancers at East Chinook, with Oakland School in Yeovil, and with Folk South West, a regional arts organisation, to create a series of performances and a body of work that has been a creative interpretation of those particular portraits.
The National Portrait Gallery wanted to get their collections out into the regions. So now we have over 60 portraits from the National Portrait Gallery hanging in the context of an Elizabethan house in Arlon Gallery. Last year and this year we've got an exhibition of unknown portraits. So the identity of the sitter's either been lost or it's been changed. And the MA students from Bristol University have curated the exhibition. So we've worked in partnership to develop that exhibition and some activities and projects around it. We've mainly been inviting visitors to create their own identities for the portraits. People have been writing, drawing, making animation, writing songs, creating dance in order to imagine what these people's lives were like and who they might have been. For us it's been fantastic to work with new groups that haven't been to the house before and haven't worked with portraits before. Often they're quite inaccessible and people find them quite difficult to relate to, so we're hoping that by working with us they'll be able to take something away and appreciate portraits in the future.
I was commissioned to choreograph a piece around the unknown portraits, and we approached a group of women over the age of 50 in East Chinook. We started just with an initial visit to the house, and we wanted people to come without any preconceptions of what the project would be about. We spent a lot of time just looking, finding key words, and from that then key movements came out and movement messages. We also looked at the idea of 3 dimensions and the fact that within a portrait there are several layers to a portrait. So we did a lot of work with using our own 3 dimensions of movement. We talked a lot about peeling back the layers, looking beyond what we might automatically see. It's really been about seeing portraits differently.
Folk South West was approached by the National Trust to do some work with Oakland School, so we decided that we would use that time to help the children to write some songs based on those portraits.
The idea of the project is to bring younger people together with older people, working between generations. Older people maybe have a perception of what younger people are like. Young people have a perception of what older people are like, and actually by working together they find out much more about each other, and maybe some of those perceptions change just a little.
When it came to selecting the children for the project, I was really keen to have children who A, wouldn't have the opportunity to do anything like this again, and B, children who would benefit from work outside of the classroom, so who were previously a little bit shy and a little bit wary of taking part. I wanted those children to be almost encouraged and forced into doing things that weren't within their comfort zone, and singing and dancing were 2 of those things.
So the children took on the role of detectives, looking into the portraits and seeing if they could see clues as to who these people might be. And for them, that was quite a journey of discovery, because they're very familiar with photograph and film, but not so familiar with the historical ways of doing that sort of thing.
Now, you'd expect the experts to be the older people, but in this case the people who've done the research and who've actually written the songs have been the young ones. So the young people are the experts and we older people are learning from them.
Well, without a doubt, the children are more confident in themselves and in their abilities. And in class, in subjects such as numeracy and literacy now, those children are definitely more willing to have a go. And in terms of getting along and collaborating, there's been a change as well. There are children in that group who will now work with a much wider variety of children in class than they ever used to. And there's no sort of huffing and puffing when I say, could you work with so-and-so? It's just they get on with it and they get the job done.
Both the organisation and the children have learnt lots. For Folk South West, it's been good for us to be working with other partners, contributing a traditional style of music to dance and visual work that have been done by other components within the project.
I think just in terms of a very practical thing, it's been lovely for us to have the opportunity to work right the way from beginning to an end, to take a stimulus and to bring it all the way to a final piece. I think that's been quite a process in itself, really.
Well, all of us in the group have gained in confidence because we tackled a new style of dance, freestyle dance, which none of us had done before. I had fun doing it. It's been brilliant.
We've grown together as a community, and it's almost given us permission to be artistic with our bodies in doing the dance.
I think the children have learnt a huge amount. They've learnt a lot about portraits and a lot of actual history, and have used their knowledge and insight and creativity to develop the stories. And they've also gained from working with older people and working with the choir, so that they see how people sing and how people work in a slightly different way, and they make friendships and make contacts that they maybe wouldn't have done otherwise.